It's meta-analysis time. That time of the month, about a weekish until the season ends. I hope that this video will serve you well. So we are, of course, using TEPPEN top decks with new updates. So if you don't know the website, you come out, you look at it just like this, showing you some info about what's going on in the meta in TEPPEN. All the data is gathered by the community. So if you want to help out, just take some screenshots like this when you get the versus screen, you're playing some TEPPEN. Send it straight to this Dropbox link. I have it saved to a little note in my phone so I can just bring it up. You can plop all the photos you take in there all at once and then just delete them off your phone so you're not wasting any space. That's what I do. So it's pretty simple and it helps out a lot with these. Let's just get into it. We've got the color pie breakdown right there. It's actually pretty even at the bottom. Green and purple kind of cruising along at 20. I feel like this is pretty reasonable. Like black is obviously taking a huge percentage. If we could just pull a little bit of that into the purple and green, get a nice balance, that'd be cool. Black has been absolutely dominating for like the whole year. If you haven't been paying attention, just so you know, red is doing pretty hot lately as well. So pretty nice color breakdown. And then our hero art breakdown, you know, what's going on in the hero art realm. I mean, Despair, Wail, and Perish still the queen. I don't think there's that much of a surprise. She didn't get changed. She's still as good as ever. Fight Against Inner Demons is coming up a second, but it's definitely much closer this month. And I don't know if that's because there's not like a ton of data points, or just because like things are getting closer. You know what I mean? The gap is closing, at least between like the top decks. Despair, Will, and Perish a little bit more popular than everyone else. Bringer of Nightmares coming up there, making it a nice showing at about 8%. So that is pretty awesome to see. The newly reworked hero art definitely come into play more now. It could just be because, you know, I think there was a lot more data points coming in at the beginning of the month where people were experimenting. So we'll have to see how this kind of plays out, maybe with the new set that's coming out soon, which is very exciting. But we'll see if Bringer of Nightmares can hold its ground as one of the kind of like most popular decks. Hikosho, Shieldspire, they've kind of been there, hanging around the 4th, 5th spot for a while. And then you just got some random guys, Mirage Decoy, Celestial Envoys, and like some interesting move ups in the world. And we'll just see how those go, if that's kind of like, I suspect what I mentioned before, where a lot of the data points were in the beginning of the month, where Bringer of Nightmares is there, and then people are trying out Mirage Decoy with the new stuff, the new purple buffs. But then Envoy's Miracle, I don't know, maybe there's something there that people are starting to figure out. We'll see if it jumps up as well. So the week by week breakdown is pretty interesting. It's kind of all over the place, which could be due to like a few data points, but it is what it is. So Despair, Wail, and Perish is kind of holding steady. I think that the decks that are holding steady in this kind of like craziness is probably a really good sign. And of course, Despair, Wail, and Perish is doing great. What's this purple one? Bringer of Nightmares on the uptick. You can see right when the buff hit, it was like we're not being played at all, and then moving up in the world for sure. We'll see if that sticks. I hope it does, because it's definitely fun to play. It's definitely an interesting deck, and it has like good counterplay too, because all the things, you know, all the units are really cheap, so you can use like MP destruction, like assassination lists and stuff. What's this one? Is this Great Divine Intervention? What's this blue? Yeah, so Great Divine Intervention can't make up its mind whether it's a good deck or not, apparently. And then some other decks like Raging Demon on an up curve alongside some purple. What's the purple? Envoy's Miracle. So Envoy's Miracle and Raging Demon kind of on the same track. Pretty interesting there, I think. And then yeah, so I think pretty cool. I think like what we get from this is that Despair, Will, and Perish is still really good, and Bringer of Nightmares is moving its way up in the world, and hopefully it'll keep its spot. And then what's the Shieldspire is not having a good time after having a great little spike here. It's like everyone's like, yeah, Shieldspire, and then everyone's like, maybe not. And then just to remind you, if you forgot about how dominant Despair, Wail, and Perish has been, we're going to go rewind this all the way back to January 1st. So the whole month, 6 months of TEPPEN. 6 months of TEPPEN. and Despair Well Impaired is the outstanding, most dominant deck by like almost 3 times the next best deck. Well, 3 times the 4th best deck for sure. Like maybe 4 times. No, that's too much. I'm reaching there. But look at the dominance that Despair Well Impaired has held over the rest of the field for all of 2021. That's pretty crazy. Gung Ho, you really, is my data that bad, or is there something going on here that we need to talk about? Anyway, let's talk about the little update that I did to the website. We are not going to play any games today just because I want to like show this off a little bit, but maybe we'll bring back the games. I kind of like them. I'm kind of unsure about them. I don't know if I should just keep them for a separate video when we go over like specific decks, but then I feel like I don't get to touch all of the decks. So for this month, June 1st to June 19th, we got Despair Well Impaired, Fight Against Hidden Demons, Bringer of the Nightmares, Kikosho, and Shield Spire. And actually all these top 10 decks, if you go over to this deck list tab, wow, there's going to be a thing. You can use the table of contents, jump around a little bit, and explanation of the tiers. So let's take a look. Can I open a new tab? Okay, so here we go. Our Oichi Despair Well Impaired. This is brought to you by P.A. Chris D. I really liked his version of it, utilizing the creature engine to get some extra destroys. I mean, this deck is fantastic at destroying things, keeping advantage, and has an absolutely punishing late game with Curse Extraction. So you're gonna get all these deck images here with credit where credit is due, and a little blurb telling you about the deck if you've never played it before. Fight Against Inner Demons. This one's Poyon, one of the top 4 people from the May WCS, I believe. And his list is pretty solid. I played against a Fight Against Inner Demons that added Waka in today. So I think you could do some stuff with the updated cards, the buffed cards for sure, but this is a solid list nonetheless. Bringer of Nightmares. This is, I found it on Discord, Senor Papel, and I think this list is pretty solid. It's about what I'm seeing from all the Bringer of Nightmares players. You got Weskers, you got Tankai, you're bringing things back. Two Foxes Classic, Akuma Classic, Sigma of course, and then he's got some interesting techs with Incense of Doom and Assassination list. So I quite like this list that he's got going on here. And then Celestial Envoy's Miracle. This is Kyle P's one. He played in Teppen God. It might be a little weird for you if you're bringing on ladder, because he said it's specifically designed to beat the Denjin matchup, which, as you could see in, if you rewind a bit, or I'll just show it again, it is, you know, it's one of the top 10 decks on popularity wise, but that it's on the low end. But this deck is definitely pretty strong, and you could change it up as you like. Probably I think the thing that keeps this deck good for the Denjin matchup is the Blue Badgers, just soaking up so much damage, so much split damage from his other units. And then we got Shield Spire. This one is by, who is it by again? I can just go check. Mokomoko Rana. This is a little bit of an old list that uses the tribal multi-tribe engine with the Nero and stuff. Just to get a beefy field, and then you use Shield Spire to protect whatever you want, whether it's MP Booster or Nero. So I'll let you guys go through the rest of those if you want, but that's about the top 5 decks. I think Kikosho is up there too. We can scroll down. I consider it a tier 3 deck. I will say that this list is not going to be exactly the same as what you see on the home screen. And that's because the home screen is built off popularity, not necessarily the deck strength. So while I think Bringer of Nightmares is a good deck, it's also very, very new, and I think it's really interesting that it's pumped up a lot here. But it's definitely tier 2 in my mind. It hasn't quite proven itself with only 1 month. And then you got Kikosho down here. While it's pretty popular, of course, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about it, and there's no like really strong lists floating around. So there you go in tier 3. And if you want to know more about the tiers, of course, check the tier explanation. So scour this part of the website whenever you want. I'll probably update it once a month. I don't know. It won't get updated a ton just because decks don't change like a super ton. But of course, some of these decks are going to have to change when HBM leaves and the new one enters. So I'm not sure the timeline on that one, but maybe you just have to keep checking. So that is it for the meta-analysis this month. I hope it was useful to you all. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you like the new parts of the website if you're checking it out. Thanks so much for watching, sticking around to the end of the video. I appreciate you. And keep on learning, having some fun, as we always do here, right on the Durian channel. And I'll see you around. Peace.